Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Aska, where you, the audience, get to ask questions of somebody you may not be able to interact with on a day-to-day basis. It's a place to grow, learn, understand, and educate for everyone. That's the glue. I'm one of your hosts, Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth.
And I'm KevOnStage, and this is Ask a Black Trump Supporter with Sharice Lane. Let's clap it up for her in the studio audience, which is just Josh, as always. So if you're new to the show, we're going to just make the decision. This is our first episode of the reboot. We've done the show for a couple years, Jay and I, but we fell off because work, traveling, whatever. So you may not know how the show works. If you're expecting an argument between Jay and I and Sharice, you will not find it here. The point of this show is to understand why someone thinks the way they do, or they live their life the way they do, so on and so forth. So Jay and I are Democrats, voted for Obama and all that. We are now Trump supporters. Sharice is a young black conservative. Mm-hmm. She voted for Trump?
No, I was 17. I could not.
Okay, yeah. But you would have voted for Trump.
I would have.
But she is a Trump supporter, so we're here to understand how she became a Trump supporter, okay? So take it easy in the comments. We are not Barbara Walters, none of that stuff. We're comedians, so you might be upset because we're going to be laughing and having a light conversation, but we really want to understand your point of view, okay? Mm-hmm. So the way the show works, Jay and I ask some questions that are interesting to us, and then we ask questions that the audience is interested in. My first question is, when did you first start thinking, you know what, I'm not really thinking like the majority of the people who look like me are thinking on things?
It was around the 7th grade. I attended a private Christian school, but it was also predominantly black and conservative. Okay. And that's very rare. So my teacher, one day, she challenged me, my history teacher, she challenged me to start researching on the things that I was learning and researching on the Democratic and the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. And when I did, that's when my mind like totally changed. So I've been conservative around like the 7th grade.
Okay, and you are in college.
Yes.
What year are you now?
I'm a sophomore, so it's my 2nd year.
Okay, so you are early or 19, 20?
I'm 19.
Okay, I have no idea how ages work. Okay, so you've been a conservative. How long have you been identifying as conservative?
Since the 7th grade.
Oh, since the 7th grade, you were like, Brian.
That's when she challenged me, and that's when I actually started doing my research.
So was Obama president then?
Yes, I think so. 7th grade, I was 13.
Yeah, so 6
years ago.
So this was in 2010?
No.
10 or 11?
It was, 7th grade, I was 13. So that was 2012.
Oh, so he just finished his first term?
Yeah.
So there's a black president in the office and you were just like, nah.
I just wanted to research, research on what is he exactly doing. Mm-hmm.
So were you not a fan of Obama?
I was, because my family was, and everybody else around me loved him. So that's why I loved him. Right.
So did you ever change your mind on him, towards the end of his second term?
Yeah, went 7th grade.
Oh, all of 7th grade was a big year for you.
Yeah.
So were you I'm really interested in how you were different from the people around you and your family, because your family, are they Democrats or Republicans, or do they?
Most of them are Democrats. My mom, she said she identifies as a Christian conservative, but she does some things we disagree on. Okay. But for the most part, they're Democrat. My grandfather, he is a conservative.
Okay. So you have both sides in your family. Yes. It's fair to say. So I first, interestingly, I found you, I was on Donald Trump's Instagram. Mm-hmm. He posted a video of Obama, and me and Jay were looking for guests for this season. And he posted a video of Obama saying, I don't remember the exact words, but he was saying something about we need to protect our borders, or something about immigration, mm-hmm. right? It was a speech about protection, and Trump was like, yes, exactly, I agree with you. And you comment, I don't remember exactly what your comment was, but you commented something, you had 3,000 replies, and I clicked, and I saw your picture, your profile, little circle, you were black, and I clicked on it, and I saw young black conservative, and I was like, oh snap. I was like, yo, we should get you on the show. So then you sent me a picture. You were like, yeah, I'd love to do it, because I thought you would. I didn't think you'd want to do it, because I thought you might think we were going to try and
Of course I will do it. You are KevOnStage.
Oh yeah, so let me let y'all know. Why we're not gonna treat her wrong anyway. She's a fan.
Yes.
And her mom's a fan.
Were you also like, yeah, and you're Big Irish Jay. I mean, did that ever? I mean, did that ever get thrown out?
You kept on stage, and then the other guys with you.
Cool.
So I saw that, and I saw Young Black Conservatives. So we started talking about, would you want to be a guest on the show? And then you sent me a picture of this tweet that went viral, and you were like, I don't remember exact words, but you're basically like, I've decided to walk out, right, or something like that.
To basically wear my hat out, like
that's what it was.
Yeah.
And this is the hat.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's not the hat. It's another hat that he signed later on. This is another hat because I left the hat at home.
Okay, that's your prized possession one.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then I was like, oh snap! I remember that tweet going viral on Twitter, and I remember your picture. Yeah, I saw it. Like, it was the whole talk of the town. Black Twitter timeline. You created like a whole big discussion, and I remember thinking like, yo. There's been black Republicans and conservatives since the beginning of time. Like, that's actually not something new. Now, they've been kind of quieter during Trump's presidency, but I know there's black people who don't, who voted for Trump, but you never really like see them out and talking. But you were like, nah, I'm finna talk about it. So what made you be like, because I'm sure you knew that you had potential for backlash.
Yes.
When you tweeted something like that.
And actually, that was like the first day I wore it out. So I was
was the first day?
Yes, that was when I was in DC for a summit called the Young Black Leadership Summit with Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and we all it was all black conservatives who got together to discuss how we would make the black community better through conservative ideas and through being pro-America. And then we also visited the White House. Okay. So the day before we visited the White House is when I posted that, and I was like, okay, nobody gonna notice. Yeah.
Right. You didn't think it was gonna have a big slash.
I mean, I got flack I went with my other friends. We all wore our hats out, and we took a picture that went viral too.
Yeah. But a whole bunch of young black people.
Yeah. We went to the Union Station, and it was all eyes on us. And I was like, okay, let's go to Chick-fil-A. They're Christian. They're not gonna say nothing. Well, lo and behold, there's some black cashiers and stuff, and when I go up there to get my food with my hat on, she says, "Are you serious? You can't be serious." And I was like, okay, I'm a Christian, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Right.
So I got my food and I walked away.
A Chick-fil-A person did not say with pleasure?
No.
Oh my, first crime.
They were whispering they were whispering and talking about us in our face, like with each other.
Really?
But that, like, they're black, and I guess I can understand why.
Right. So this is before you tweeted the picture. Were you like emboldened? After.
Like, I tweeted the picture and then I went out.
Okay,
with my hat.
Got it.
And I wore it out for the first day.
Yeah.
Like, that was really the first day I wore it. Like, I finally got the courage to do it. And I felt like I was a superhero.
Did you really?
You felt like what?
Superhero.
I was a superhero. Like, nobody could touch me. That way? Like Kanye said, this hat represents a lot of things. This hat represents, like, you cannot bully me. I can think however I want to think. So
are you with Kanye? Because a lot of the black community is like, bro, I ain't even heard no rap ever, no Yeezys, no nothing.
I am.
You are.
I respect his opinions, and I respect, like, there's finally somebody other than just us, somebody on the outside who's trying to speak on behalf of us. And
when you say us, you mean black conservatives?
Black conservatives.
Okay.
And trying to have a different point of view than just the same thing, like the same monotone thought.
Okay.
I was going to ask, going back to, you said in 7th grade, your teacher told you to start researching, what you're learning. What was it in that research? Was it from what you're reading about Republicans versus Democrats that veered you towards Republican?
Well, for one, I found out that the Democrats, they actually did start slavery, and they what is it called? They advocated against
abolition.
Like, abolition, being like abolitionists. So, and then I found out that I found out for the Republican Party that they were the abolitionists and they fought to free us. Right. So that kind of blew my mind because nobody had ever, like, I had to go do it myself. Nobody had ever told me that. Yeah.
All right. So take us back to that, like, week, right? Because you've been one of the few people in the world who've been, like, the subject of the internet for a day. Like, at least on my timeline, it was like everybody was like, I saw that picture.
Are you for real? I just
dead serious. Really? Like, I saw that all day.
And people sending it to you.
No, I mean just like retweeting and conversation and all that type of stuff. Like, and I was like, oh snap. So what was maybe the initial response versus like, you know, because I'm assuming you got like, you know, black conservatives like, yes, girl, I'm with you, and black people be like, nah, girl, we throwing you away.
I got when I started realizing it started going viral, I got a lot of really hurtful comments, like just not acceptable, like calling me Uncle Tom, calling me a coon, calling me a house in, calling me a bed wench, cursing me out. I get DMs, people saying you don't deserve to be black, you should pull off your skin, you should bleach your skin, all of this stuff over a hat.
Right.
That's why I say when I put this on, I feel like I'm a superhero. Like nobody can touch me. You can't say nothing to me.
So would you say that those comments then and because I'm assuming you still get them now?
Yes.
Would you say then and now they embolden you more than tear you down?
They do. I want to be an attorney, so I feel like I need that tough skin in order to be good at that job.
Right.
So this, even though it hurts, God has given me the ability to take it and, you know, let it help me in the future. Mm-hmm. So
is a percentage of why you're a Republican conservative, is a percentage of it like I'm throwing out numbers and you correct them or say nothing like it at all. Like say 75% of it is the research you've done and what you've found, and then 25% now is, like you said, people, you know, talking smack to you or whatever, or threatening with you, and you're like, okay, well, out of spite, that makes me want to do it even more.
Yeah, right. Basically, yeah.
So one thing I've noticed as I started following you on Instagram after, you know, you agreed to be on the show, and I thought I've talked about this off camera. So I've talked about this idea of like different timelines, right? So the Covington Catholic kids, right? So that picture of I think his name is Nick something, I don't know his last name, but he's, you know, got that like smug look on his face, and the Native American gentleman is beating the drum in his face, right? So when that happened, all my timeline is like that, you know, 10-second piece, right? So I hadn't seen nothing else different or anything like that. On your timeline, because I saw your Instagram stories, you had other videos that I hadn't seen yet on my timeline of like, one was and these videos later came out of Nathan Phillips, I believe, walking up to the Catholic kids. Like you had other videos that I hadn't seen as opposed to this one view. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is two internets. You know what I mean? Just like with the Fire Festival. They had all these models, and I had never heard of the Fire Festival ever. And they were like, yes, we got this big splash in the internet, and I never heard of this. So talk about what your, like, because I firmly believe like your social media is it's curated by your likes and dislikes. And for the most part, most people only hear what they want to hear, right? And that's probably the same for you. So on your timeline during that Covington High Catholic thing, was it all people like, this is fake news, here's the other thing? Was it like more disputing that? Whereas, you know, my timeline, it was more like, look at these Trump supporters? It
was kind of both, because I follow both conservative and Democrat. In order to like know the truth, you have to get both sides and you have to compare them. So a lot of conservatives, before even researching, they started condemning them as well. And
condemning the Catholic kids?
And I said I did not want to do that. So I did not say anything until I researched. And when I researched, I found out the truth. And you know, that's when I guess everything else started coming out. Like it's important to research before coming to any conclusion about somebody or something, because I know how it feels for someone to think something about me without even knowing me.
Right.
So I did not want to do the same thing to them.
Okay. And that seemed to work in your favor in this instance, because I believe it came out that it was more than just this clip, right? So one thing I want to know, this is kind of funny, right? Your whole family is obviously not conservative, right?
Right.
And they know you are Trump supporting, like unabashed Trump supporting conservative. Is your Thanksgiving crazy? Like, oh, here goes Sharice, bro. I don't even want to see old girl. She on that other stuff. Are your family members like that, or are they more accepting, or like, what's it like?
I feel like they're a little shady behind closed doors, but like in my face, they're like, oh, hey, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I did not want to go home for Thanksgiving, but I prayed about it, and you know, I was like, I'm gonna go. I had a good time, but I really feel like there was a little bit of tension between me and the rest of my family. But we still had a good time though.
Yeah.
We still had a good time. Like I had really fun. I had a lot of fun.
Are you willing to like lose family members over political views?
No. family is everything. Like I'm not willing to, but at the same time, I feel like this is God pressing me to like be on politics,
right,
and speak out,
right,
on politics. So I don't want to, but if it happens, I will be really like heartbroken.
Right. That's interesting because I feel like I know, even just being a comedian on the internet, like I get mostly positive comments, and I try to ignore the negative ones, but some of them slip through and be like, whew, ooh, that hurt just a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you, but I have, majority. I wouldn't say I often have content that is polarizing. Sometimes I take a stand and people are upset or whatever, but it's not very often. Your Instagram and your Twitter, you take flack from people every day, yep. Right? One thing I thought you posted on your story the other day that I thought was interesting. You said people claim Trump is racist, right? But those same people spew racial things to me, yep. Every day, all day. So how are you different than him? So explain that kind of thought process.
I don't understand, especially, okay, white liberals, I'll call them, these white Democrats. They say that President Trump is racist, but then you have Antifa, which is a white, I would call them terrorists, or white organization, attacking black conservatives and they physically attack black conservatives or curse them out. And I'm like, that doesn't make you any different. Like, you can't do that. So I don't understand the narrative behind even black people, black Democrats saying racist things to me, feeling that they can because they are black. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I was gonna ask you, being a Republican, and I know you're a Trump supporter in the sense of he's the president, he's Republican, you're supporting him. Do you also support him in the sense of like, I really like Trump, I really like his views, or is it more of like, he's a Republican, he's the president, so I respect that position?
I like his policies. I'm not necessarily a Republican. I'm a registered Republican for voting reasons in the primaries, but the one thing that stood out to me was his policies when he was first running, and that's what really got me.
What policy specifically?
I like that he's pro-life. I really believe that life starts at conception. So the fact that when he was running, he said he wanted to defund Planned Parenthood, it meant a lot to me because Planned Parenthood, they're getting crazy now. Like, for instance, this new legislation that was just passed in New York to basically you can kill a baby at full term and you won't face any consequences. That's going too far. So I really do support him on that. And also him being pro-Israel. I am pro-Israel because I'm a Christian. The Bible says if you bless Israel, he's going to bless you. So that's like the main two things.
Okay, so I wanted to go.
Sorry, just following up on that. Yeah, it was like, so would you say you're a Trump policy supporter, but not necessarily Trump person supporter?
A little bit of a person, because one of the things that got me to support him also was he's very blunt and he's very straightforward. I don't like when people lie to me, and a lot of politicians lie. And President Trump, he says what's on his mind. He tweets what's on his mind. He wasn't faking it when he was running. Everybody knew how he was.
Right.
So I really appreciated that because I have a lot of people that have lied to me in my life, and I feel like Trump is not doing that.
So back to the pro-life, what I'll call a Christian policy. Like a lot of Christians stand very strongly on pro-life or pro-choice. Do you believe, like, Trump has had that stance on pro-life, but he also has had his sexual assault claims and things like that, right? So are you able, we use this term with Kanye a lot, separate the art from the artist, and R. Kelly as well. Do you separate the policies from the man, so to speak? Because he's had like these allegations of like Stormy Daniels and all these illicit affairs, and his audio recording of grabbing by the Huda Hada.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So did any of those scandals, I use the word scandals, did that rock you in any way?
Well, for one, I don't think any of them were doing his presidency. So if he were to do them during his presidency, it would have like a greater impact, such as Bill Clinton and the Oval Office scandal. But that was in his past. You can forgive someone.
You talking about Trump now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can forgive someone of their past. I don't necessarily agree with what he said, but at the same time, there's a lot of songs out with degrading women. Yep. So it's nothing new, but like that. But anyways, that's his past. I don't really believe those sexual assault allegations. Like, I feel like I need more proof. I believe in being innocent until proven guilty. Okay. So,
what's your thoughts on like his past being contradictory of what his policies are now?
What do you mean by
like I think at one point he was not pro-life. I think it was an old interview. I don't know if it was on Oprah or something, where they were asking him if he would run in it. And it seems like there's and I don't have them off the top of my head, but I was going to say I think there's been some other things that he's had a view, and then when he said he would, if he ever ran for
president, he would run for Republican. Yeah, he would run Republican because
basically like they'll buy anything. So to speak, you know. I'm just wondering if you like how do you or do you just look at it like, oh, that was in his past and it doesn't matter, or
I mean, obviously he's not the same now. So, you know, people change. Even with me, my whole thought process changed on politics in the 7th grade. Right. So not everyone stays the same forever. So gotcha. As long as the policies that he has now, like, I agree with, as long as like they line up with my Christian beliefs, I'm standing with him.
So do you think Trump is a model Christian, or do you think Trump is running, he puts Christian ideals out because Christian people will like vote for those things?
I don't think he does it for the votes. I think he really cares. I don't think he's a Christian, but I see that he's trying. Like, he's surrounding himself with Christian people. Even his vice president, Mike Pence, he is a Christian. He has Ben Carson on his board. Ben Carson is a Christian. So even though he might not be a Christian, the fact that he's surrounding himself with people who are Christians means a lot to me.
Okay. I'm curious if, like, I don't know, like how do you like deal with being ostracized? You know what I mean? Like, the black community, we can be very loving and welcoming and cool. If we with you, we with you, you know, and if we ain't with you, we ain't with you. Like, how do you deal with like your own people being like, I don't want nothing to do with you, like, every single day?
Yeah. Well, I could say like elementary, middle school, I was bullied a little, and that was a really dark time for me. But when I finally surrendered my life to Christ and gave my life over to him, I found that when I talk to God, I don't really need people like by me. Not necessarily, not that I don't want them with me, but I feel like as long as I have Christ, and as long as I'm talking to him every day and reading my word and praying, I feel like that's why I'm strong, like, right now. Right. He has given me so much courage throughout this whole... I've been through a lot ever since I really came out publicly saying that I'm a Trump supporter and saying what are my stances on political things. Right. So I really feel like my relationship with Christ is the reason why I can take being ostracized.
Question about this is a little bit off topic from Trump, a little bit. Black Lives Matter. Do you identify with the Black Lives Matter movement, more All Lives Matter, or don't subscribe to either?
I do not identify with Black Lives Matter. Okay. I more so All Lives Matter.
How so, or why so?
One of the things I don't like about them is sometimes they get a little bit violent. I think it was a couple months ago, I posted a video on my Twitter of some Black Lives Matter protesters chasing, I think it was an elderly man down the street, and then someone handicapped. And, you know, I don't agree with that. Now, the civil rights movement, I do, because Martin Luther King, he stressed not being violent, and he stressed peaceful protests, which, even if I might not agree with some of the things people protest for, peaceful protests, as long as it's peaceful, okay, that's you. Right. But the fact that sometimes they get violent, I do not stand for at all. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were talking about you like in 7th grade you did all this research, and I'm curious, have you done any research on the Russian allegations and your thoughts on that, and also a follow-up or second part to that, if it comes out that there was collusion or anything, your thoughts on that?
I've been trying to do research on it, but I found that, I mean, they still haven't had really any viable proof of Russian, what's it called? Russian
interference.
Yeah. Like, you have to have proof. That's why I do my research, because I have to have proof
That's
as to why I
mind.
believe. Yeah, as to why I believe what I believe. If you don't have proof, then you innocent. So they still haven't came out with viable proof as to how he could have colluded with Russia.
And do you feel like, as an example, like him not paying workers or filing bankruptcy multiple times, or just basically telling people that have worked for him, whatever, take me to court, which has been proven, so to speak. Do you look at all that stuff as just like that's all in the past, and just he had a clean slate coming in as a president? Yes,
because I really think that he's trying his best to be the best president he can be now. And he's proven that through, like I said, the policies that he, even before becoming president, that he stood for.
Okay.
What would you say Trump's a good president?
Yes.
Okay, so what about him makes you feel like he's doing a good job as the president?
I would say, just like I said before, he's not a type of person that would just lie to your face, so to speak. He's very blunt. I really appreciate how he connects with the people through social media and through Twitter. And he's a man to stand on like what he says. And even with the border shutdown, he was not about to back down. And
the government shut down.
Yeah, the government. Yeah, the government shut down.
Okay.
It took him a while, but even though he's shutting down the government it's only for a little while. It's not fully
till February 15th.
Yeah, and that's just to give people who are, because a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, to give them a way to start paying their bills again.
Right.
But I think that if he would have never done that, they would still been going like back and forth. But as in being a good president, I feel like he's a very strong one.
Sorry, I was going to say because I'll forget it. What's your thoughts on, you're saying like he says what he means what he says. He's very blunt. What about him saying one thing at some point during his presidency and then the total opposite? Like he said, Mexico's going to pay for the wall.
I was literally going to ask that question. Yeah. And I'm trying to be unbiased, but when he said,
I never said that.
I ain't say pay it. I was like, bro, they
should just go, here's an iPad,
right?
Place.
So that one, I was like, come on, fam. So what do you? Because when he was campaigning, can you admit he was like, who's going to pay for it, Mexico? And then was like, bruh, y'all know what I was saying.
It wasn't going to pay for it.
Yeah, I think he, with me, when I don't get my way with something, I kind of like back off. Like I didn't really say that. So with Mexico, this is not a dictatorship. Like he just can't do whatever he want. Like he has to go through processes. So I think he was just saying that to say it, but he has to go through, like he's doing now, processes in order to get that done. And I guess he hasn't really been able to get that done because it's not just him running the country. There's other people.
So you believe at the time he said it, he really thought Mexico was going to pay for it. And when he became president, he found out that Mexico's actually not going to pay for it. But now he's kind of like stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. So it can be said that he does that a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like I say something and then it doesn't work out.
He wasn't a politician. He didn't.
Right. So what are your, I guess, do you subscribe to that same idea? Like I believe him when he says it, then he just finds out he can't do it. Because what I'll say because I'm
Am I part of we?
Yeah, you're part of we in this one.
All right, thanks.
I would say a lot of his detractors would be like, fam, you just be saying stuff. And it's funny you say he doesn't lie. And on my timeline, it is literally he's accused of lying like every day, all day. Here's where you lied. This is a lie. This is, so it's interesting that you think the opposite, that he doesn't lie. Like, how do you rectify
he doesn't try to. Like he does. I don't think he means to at certain times. Like I really believe that he wants what's best for this country, and he's not going to really do anything to go against that.
Okay. You got a question, Jay?
And I'm just like, I'm thinking about like just what you're saying. Like I don't remember what it was, but it was like Trump was saying numbers of something. And like I wonder, like listening to what you're saying, how you think he may work. I'm wondering if he like gets a high over, like maybe he meets with people, he gets a high overview and they throw numbers at him and everything. And then he doesn't learn them, but he hears them. And then he goes to speak and he just starts rattling off numbers that may get mixed and everything. Cause they was having some speech where he was quoting numbers of like unemployment and this and that. And then right after he got done, CNN was like, okay, well, this is not right. This is incorrect. This number is this number. And
I don't like CNN.
With CNN.
I don't like CNN at all because I really feel like they are the most. Yes, but actually, I really don't watch the news. I do my own research because even Fox News can mess up.
Yeah.
Different things like there's a search engine called what's it called? Go. Let me look at it real quick. No, it's called.
You say Google.
It's called DuckDuckGo.
Okay, everybody.
It's called DuckDuckGo,
okay.
and I like. That's where I do most of the research from, DuckDuckGo.
What? I don't know.
It's a search engine. So instead of Safari or Google, it'll be DuckDuckGo.
Oh, is it like a non-biased one, so to speak? Yeah. Okay. Huh. Do you find Google to be biased?
Yes.
How so?
I've compared certain definitions from DuckDuckGo and Google, and I found like in the wording, yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
They're leaning more towards one side than the other instead of
more towards the liberal side.
I think that if you're giving information, you should be as unbiased as possible.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of people looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing I can say for sure is I don't think we have a pure news organization because it's new. Our news kind of has always been, even before TV, news is entertainment. Like it's not just here are the facts. Today, the weather happened, this was the weather and this guy did that. It's, like CNN, they have Rachel Maddow and talk show. It's opinion-based news. And Fox News has the same thing with Hannity and whoever the case is. So those aren't like, here are the facts. It's here's what our producers think will get the ratings for the people that we believe. And I don't think we have like a mainstream news cycle that is just like C-SPAN. C-SPAN was just like, here's a court, like, you know what I mean? Like, here's a hearing. It's just a view of what's happening right now without any bias. And I think journalists back in the day before ratings were just like, here's what's happening without bias. But I don't think we have that anyway. I'm off on a tangent.
No.
But I do want to talk about fake news. Now, it seems like when the news agrees with Trump, this is great. The numbers are up, blah, blah, blah. When it disagrees with Trump, it's fake news. So, I mean, that's like a get out of jail free card. If you can just say whatever that is anti what I'm saying is fake news, it's fake. So how do you rectify that in your mind, or do you think about that at all?
For me, I do try to stay unbiased. Even when stuff comes out about Trump that I like, I still try to research it before. So not necessarily like thinking that a bad story is fake news. I still do my research.
So I'm curious, is there anything that, like, okay, here's an example, right? Say CNN said this story about Trump, right? Something that you, like, say he paid for an abortion this year, something that goes against your core values, right? Say that's a news story, and that was not corroborated by DuckDuckGo or Fox News. Would you believe that if it didn't show up on Fox News or DuckDuckGo?
No, because I found that CNN they are really
anti-Trump.
Just a lot of things that I stand for, and they have been caught in quite a few lies. Like I was saying, with Antifa, one of their, I don't know who it was on their show, reported that Antifa was a black organization. It's not. It's a bunch of white college students who get paid to protest. And then if they see a black conservative, they attack them.
Who pays them?
I have no idea, to be honest, but that's what I found. Like, even showing my dad, I showed my dad that, and he didn't believe me. So I had to find proof, and I did.
On DuckDuckGo?
No, like just different websites.
Okay,
like,
okay.
I do tons of research, not just on one, a whole bunch.
Got it. So have you ever found any research that contradicts any of your views on Trump, and have you had to deal with that, or has most of your research kind of maybe corroborated what you already thought?
I think it corroborated with what I thought, mostly.
Okay, go ahead, Jared.
Do you think most Trump supporters are racist? Okay, go ahead and answer that one, then I'll have a follow-up.
I do not. From my personal experience, I do not, because even when on Instagram, if I need some help, I would say, okay, to my followers, I need some help. They'll come right away. It'll be most of them Trump supporters. One time, which was December, I did a GoFundMe for my little cousin. He had been badly injured over the holiday, and they needed about $5,000, and they raised 1,000 of it. So I feel like if you're gonna be racist, you won't do that type of stuff.
Do you ever think that, okay, I have this MAGA hat on, they're not racist, but if I were to take this off and said I support Hillary or I'm a Democrat, do you ever think maybe they would switch and immediately be racist?
No, I think that they would treat me like a human being. They would treat, yes, because even with me, I know plenty of people who are Hillary and Bill Clinton, supporters, and the Democrats, and I don't treat them differently at all.
So how much would you say of your support for Trump or the Republican Party has to do with being a Christian?
Maybe 50, because of his policies. Character, he has to work on that. I do admit he has to work on that, but like I said, I do like that he's blunt. It's just certain things that he says, toned it down a little. Right. But I found that now some more days, people are more so voting based on policies instead of character. Right. Which, if you have good character and then your policies are bad for the country, why are you the president? Right. So you fully believe Trump's policies. You said pro-life was. I'm trying to remember the ones that you said that you pro-life, pro-Israel, pro-Israel. And then I like border security as well. Border security. Yeah. Now, this is another thing I saw on your Instagram. So you were saying that prior to Trump, the Democrats were very strong on border security, and now they're not because they want to be in opposition to Trump. So do you feel like border security is just now a political issue, the same way like the war on drugs or terrorism or whatever? They can just be points to rally the respective bases? To the left, to the Democrats, I feel like it is a political issue. But to Trump, I really do think that he cares. Even the fact that he compromised, just yesterday, and he opened up the government. He opened up the government until February 15th. That shows that he cares more about the people than about just politics, not just to win an argument. But would you say that shutting down the government in the beginning, you could say he doesn't care about
longest shutdown?
I mean, other presidents have shut down the government as well. For sure. So not necessarily.
Okay. Take it easy. Take it easy. That was a lot of blinks.
I apologize. I'm like this. I apologize for being so rude.
A lot of blinks there.
That's just me. Like I just respond that way. But
that actually is great for the next question. Is you're out and about, you're wearing a MAGA hat. What do you wish people would come up and ask you instead of just assuming or immediately go at you negatively?
I wish they would ask me how I was raised and how I grew up, because I feel like it could relate to most of, especially people of color, it could relate to them. Like in the beginning of my life, I grew up with a single mother before she got married. I grew up with that. I was not in the best area. Most people think if they see a black person with a MAGA hat, they think, oh, she grew up around white people in a white neighborhood. I grew up in what people call the ghetto or the hood. I went to school in the middle of the hood. Even right now, our living situation is not the best, but we're getting through it. So I really think if people really want to know your intentions, they should first ask you about yourself and get to know you more before judging.
And do you feel Trump has
the point of this show?
Oh yeah,
literally
exactly.
Literally the glue of the show. Because I think I'm a Christian as well, and when I first started this, 3 years ago with Jay, and we had Ask a Gay Guy on. I mean, people were just like, "Well, jump in hell now, Kev." I'm like, "Whoa!"
That was one time when I was glad all of it was going on, Kev. Right. Nobody was like, "Why be a Irish Jay?"
and that's just the point of this, is to have a conversation with someone. I don't feel like you can even argue. I mean, obviously you can argue without it, but I would not argue. I would, before I ever have an argument, I'd rather understand.
A debate.
I think a debate, right? I would want. That's the main reason I had you. Because to be honest, Sharice, when I saw you were black and Trump, I was like, I cannot.
Kev was telling me, he's like, check me if you need to. I just want to make sure. I don't want to do anything disrespectful.
I'd be honest, and we've been talking, over the last couple of weeks, since we got your ticket and stuff like that. Because the picture when I first saw it, I was like, I cannot I cannot.
That's a lot of people. Yep.
Yeah, I cannot like make that make sense because like even outside of border security, like and all that stuff, even like stop and frisk, or the Central Park Five, like the stop and frisk law, which Trump supported, has been harmful to black people. Right? It's just like we tend to be stop and frisk more. We tend to, and when we're arrested, we tend to go to trial more. And when we go to trial, we tend to get longer sentences. So that type of thing is just
and I have a comment on that.
Please.
I really believe that he has changed because I don't know if you heard of this, but he came out with a prison reform bill called the First Step Act.
I saw that on your Instagram, actually.
It had both Democratic and Republican support, and it just passed. I do agree that at certain times we are treated unjustly concerning the prison system, but the fact that he took the time to actually come out with the bill and to get both Republican and Democratic support is big, and it passed with flying colors.
Okay. Would you say because one of our questions we ask a lot is your biggest misconception about you, would you say that the biggest one is that you are, I guess, anti-black and you are only have white friends and you are rich?
And that's not only for me, that's for a lot of black conservatives. I'm not rich. I have a scholarship in school. You see my hair. I'm not trying to be white in any way.
Right.
Most of my friends are black.
Are most of your friends black conservatives or both sides?
The school I went to, a lot of us were black conservatives. So
high school or the college?
High school. I went to that school, elementary, middle, high school.
Okay, got it.
So I went to school with some of them, and I'm there. Like the girl you were talking to on the phone, she's a black conservative as well. I attended a predominantly white school, but before even going to that school, I thought the way that I did. Predominantly black school with a few Hispanics.
Right. Do you feel like you can't be who you are at all times? You know what I mean? Because like your hat you can take on and off, right? If you didn't have that hat here or on, I would never look at you and assume you're a Trump supporter, right? But you're a black woman, I can tell that from a mile away. Do you ever feel like, okay, man, I'm going to a place where I don't know, I'm not finna put this hat on because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to start nothing. You know what I mean? Do you ever feel like that? Or are you just like, I don't care what happens, whatever, I'm keeping this hat?
The first day I did, yes. And I was really scared. But at the same time, I was really excited. The more I started wearing it out and putting it on, the more I felt like it doesn't matter. I'm still a human being. This is just a hat.
Do you now? I've seen a lot of things, and I want to get to your safety as well. That's the point I wanted to bring up. A lot of people have been saying the Make America Great Again hat is the new white hood, and
that's what Alyssa Milano she said. There's a meme that someone made with my friends and myself under it. No, it's not. I feel like more so Antifa and all their coverings, all the black that they're wearing is the new hood. Because I don't know if you know Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. Yeah. They went out to get something to eat, and all of these Antifa members started attacking them and basically like kicked them out of the restaurant. And I'm like, just let them live.
Right.
Do you had mentioned like Trump's past is in his past, this is his presidency, and you believe he's trying to change, and you don't judge him off his past, so to speak. I don't want to put words in your...
Yes and no. He still has to be kind of accountable, but the fact that I see him changing is very big to me.
Have you ever taken that view on the Democratic Party in the sense that you look at it like they were for slavery, but has time changed to look at that?
I would say no, because even the present things, it went from slavery, then it went from Jim Crow, and now I believe it's the welfare system. That is the new slavery to me. You cannot be dependent on the government for so long and not expect them to try to control you. And the Democrats, they're mostly over that. Like they push the welfare system. I have many family members who are on welfare and just like stuck on welfare, not doing anything with their life. So I feel like that is the new mind control.
Yeah, government.
Yeah, big government
mentality. That was on our last one.
I don't believe in big government because that's like I said, a new form of slavery, taking control over you. You should not have the government controlling you at all.
Did you also, when Trump was talking about the NFL players taking a knee, and he was like,
"Yeah,
what was your thoughts on that?"
He just needs to watch his mouth. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't really. Because I didn't agree with the kneeling thing either.
The kneeling thing.
The kneeling. Okay. I didn't agree with that either, but there's a nicer way he could have said it. But at the same time, he is blunt.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the kneeling thing. How you don't agree with it? Because so Kaepernick, if you don't know the whole story, the Kaepernick was sitting down during the national anthem, and then a veteran told him it's more respectful to the flag to kneel, and he was kneeling to protest police brutality, peaceful protest, which you said earlier you agree with peaceful protest. So what about kneeling bothers you?
I think it's very disrespectful because he's kind of acting like, okay, we need to respect the flag, and he's kind of acting like just white people or anything have fought for this country. Like, blacks have fought for this country. We have died in battle, and stood beside the American flag. So I feel like it's not only being disrespectful to the American flag, but to our people who have fought for the flag as well.
Okay.
Veteran. It was a veteran though that told him he should kneel.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no, I know. That's
yeah. So now the disrespecting the flag. I saw this really interesting article. This was a conversation on Twitter, and they were talking about how the flag code says you're not supposed to modify the flag and this and that, and all these different type of ways where people have like the flag
shorts,
Budweiser cans
on the ground,
and on people's clothes and burn it in hats and things like that, where people. And even Trump, there's been times where Trump's been caught not having his hand on his heart during the national anthem. So how do you reconcile those two things with Kaepernick kneeling?
Even with his, I remember he was at, who was it? Somebody's funeral.
It was not John. Was it John McCain?
Bush.
Oh, Bush. H.W. Bush.
The fake news. When I tell you they're fake, he took his hand up like he didn't put his hand up yet, and that's when they caught everybody else with their hand right there, except for him. He put it up like a second later. I don't.
So yeah. So from
he had it up.
Yeah.
They just didn't catch him before he put it up.
They just presented a picture before.
Yeah. But I know they say injustice of what the kneeling is for, police
brutality. Do you believe that black people suffer police brutality more than any other people?
I believe that some police are unfair. Like they're just both sides. But police brutality is like a small percent of black on black crime and abortion.
Wait, what?
Black abortions have been very high.
Oh, when you said police brutality is small percent of black. It was just like you were saying babies. You just thought you were saying buzzwords like black on black crime, abortion. Like, wait, what?
It's a small percentage compared to black on black crime.
Oh, it's a small percentage of what happened
in the community.
Yeah. Black on black. You were saying black on black crime is a bigger problem, and abortion is a bigger problem.
Aborting of black babies.
Then police brutality. Okay, I thought you were just like, I need a parachute. Black on black crime, abortion.
From the research I did, I found that I think it's 16 million or 17 million black babies since Roe v. Wade have been aborted. And that's like a whole generation of blacks that we could have had.
Is that, in your research, have you found that to be more than any other race?
Yes.
How much more than, say, white women?
I'm not sure, but that is like the most.
Black people were the most?
Yes.
Okay.
This might be difficult to answer. Like, because there's a lot of questions we're present where we're like, well, Trump did this, and can you defend it, so to speak?
To be honest, when you say stuff and I disagree, I just like, you said you're gonna be unbiased. You said you're gonna be unbiased. I'm gonna be unbiased.
No, you're doing good.
Because
he's doing good. Tell him he's doing good.
He's doing good.
I feel like the purpose of this show early on, when it was just me and Jay, was just like, I think actually it was about I wanted to talk to Jay, a white friend of mine, about police brutality. Like, what do you feel like as a white person? But I feel like because we are, especially because of the internet, we tend to be in an uproar all the time. And you are probably the first person, actually not even probably, you're the only person that's a Trump supporter straight up that I've had a conversation with. Oh. And the reason I am having conversation with you is mainly because you're a black woman. And I'm protect black women at all costs.
Thank you.
And that is
me too.
You do.
Hey, me too.
Jay loves black women. If you don't know him, he only dates black women. Right? So I felt like this was a better first conversation, because I feel like to be honest, me and Jay try to book a lot of guests. Like, we want to have not wild guests, but people you don't really have a chance to have a conversation with. I can be honest and say, if you weren't a black woman, if you were like a white man from Texas and a Trump supporter, I don't feel like I could have this conversation
I understand that,
unbiased because I'd be like, fam, you don't even know what it's like, first of all.
Yeah. You don't know our struggle.
Yeah, well, I feel like you can support Jay, shut up. But I feel like you can support Trump without any of the consequences that I face. And you would face some of these, Trump supporter or not, you're a black woman, first before you, and I'm a black man before I'm my political affiliation, I'm a black man first. So I feel like I could have this conversation with you because you're a black woman versus some like Tommy Loren. I could not.
I understand that.
I couldn't even have it. I could not have Tommy Loren here, right? But I could, and I appreciate you for being willing to come on because I feel like you're going to upset people just by speaking your truth, and I'm sure people are going to come to your defense just because you're speaking for them. But what I hope everybody gets is an opportunity to hear from someone that they disagree with,
different side. That's what I'm saying. Different side.
Hear another side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what my question was, I was going to say is, so we've been presented a lot of scenarios like Trump did this or he said this, and it's like, okay, it's in his past. So I want to present a question a different way. Is there something, and it may be hard to answer, is there something Trump could do or say that would make you say, you know what, I'm cool, I can't back him no more?
Yeah, I guess just being, if he were to tweet something blatantly racist, then I would have to question his motives. But he's proven me otherwise, such as, I don't know if I told you this, but it's something called the Urban Revitalization Coalition that he's doing, and him and other people are investing $100 billion into the black community, and he has like blacks alongside of him doing this. So basically to change around the black community, not only through like housing or some things like that, but internally with the people, because you can't just like build beautiful buildings or try to, I guess, accidentally do gentrification and then the people come and mess it up. Like you have to kind of change their mentality. So he's working with what's his name, Dr. Scott, Dr. Daryl Scott.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the black pastor that said that Trump's done more for black people than any other president.
He has.
Do you agree with that?
I do think that he has. Like I don't know. Every time I try to ask someone who supports Obama what he has done, they can't really tell me.
You know, it's interesting, and I don't want this to count to 10. Take a deep breath.
I love you, Obama.
Change. I don't want this to sound like it's more of an observation, if anything, and you can speak to it. But I want it to be like this gotcha type thing or whatever. But it sounds almost like, because you were saying earlier about the wall or certain things, he'll make promises, and then you say, but once he gets in there, he didn't know he couldn't make them happen. But then the good stuff, though, you're giving him credit for that verse. Why isn't in that the scenario? Well, the good stuff is happening not because of him, because he didn't know. It's because of the people he surrounds himself with.
What's the question?
I guess it's not even a question. I don't know.
I feel like, I see what you're saying. It's like when it's bad from Trump, it's in his past. He didn't know. When it's good,
he didn't know how politics work.
Yeah, I was saying
how you can do it.
We should call people out. Call people out on their past. But if they're trying to change now, at least acknowledge that also.
What things do you see as markers of like, oh, I see this as like, here's a perfect example. Trump's trying to change. When you like, what things would you say are like beacons of showing that he's trying to change?
Just the two examples I gave of the prison reform bill that he passed and the Urban Revitalization Coalition. He's actually working with people from that community, not just someone from outside. He's actually trying to work with them in order to change the community where they came from. So I think that's that stands out the most. Like he's actually trying, at least.
So I want to just make this clear. You said you don't believe Trump is a racist,
no,
right?
I did not.
So a lot of his policies or the way he presents stuff comes off as racist. Like one thing that I thought of is when he's talking about building the wall, he's like, there's some bad hombres and Mexicans just want to come in and rape us and drug deals and like. So what do you feel about that?
I
know you're going to say that's not the quote. Right. He was
talking about illegal immigration. Like people keep saying that he's talking about Mexicans. He was talking about illegal immigrants.
Well, he said, I think because he said bad hombres and the walls in the Mexican.
I don't even know what that means.
Hombre is Spanish for
men. Yeah. So I think it's assumed. Here's the thing that Trump's probably the most accused of, right? Dog whistling. Right? Are you familiar with that term?
No.
So dog whistling is like the dogs can hear something at a higher pitch than humans. So you can whistle and it'll get a dog's attention. Right? So what Trump's accused of doing is being able to quote racist thoughts to trigger his base without saying, I hate black people, I hate Mexicans. He'll say they're coming in our country. Like, for instance, his wife's an immigrant, but she's from Europe or whatever. She's not, from Mexico. So the illegal immigration tends to be focused on the Mexican border only. It's never like, we've got to stop these Irish people from coming in, or these, Russians or people from Africa. It's always like the wall. The
you
wall
didn't say these comrades.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's always, so it's assumed that he's talking about Mexican people, right? So he gets accused of being a racist and a xenophobe often for those things. So how do you reconcile that?
I don't,
or defend it, or do you disagree?
Okay, I try to get different point of views, and every time I ask someone how, especially towards black people, how is Trump racist, they can never give me an answer.
Well, I think one thing that I can think of is the Central Park Five, right? So group of black people who Trump
and I researched that. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys don't know what that is, they were accused of rape. And Trump was like, they're guilty, basically throw them under the jail. Came out that they were not guilty at all. And he never was like, I apologize, that was wrong. It was just like, he just didn't talk about it anymore. So that's, at least for black people, that's a thing that I can point to, where it's like Central Park 5, he was brash about them being wrong. And when it was found out that they were innocent, he was not as vocal about declaring their innocence.
So I don't think that basically saying that someone is guilty is racist. I feel like he should have gotten more proof before condemning them. But calling someone out, just because like they were all, I heard that it was all blacks and like one Hispanic. I mean, what if they weren't
black and brown people?
Yeah, but what if they weren't though? Would he still have done? He probably would have done the same thing. I'm not sure, but I don't think calling them out for that is racist. Like,
here's the thing I want to point to, by the way. You just triggered my memory. Charlottesville, right? Charlottesville is a hot button issue for Trump because these were obviously like white supremacists, like marching, they had the signs and everything. And one of them like ran over somebody, Heather, and she died, right? He's in jail now. Or he was convicted of murder, I believe. I'm not sure what the I don't know if it was murder 1 or murder 2. But he was convicted,
manslaughter
or manslaughter. Like I think it was manslaughter. So even Republicans were like, "Yo, that y'all are racist." Like the Charlottesville protesters with the thing, y'all are racist.
And I condemn that.
And Trump was like, "There's good people on both sides."
I should have researched more on that, but good people on both sides. That he should never said that. But at the same time, he has condemned white supremacy. He has condemned racism, such as, what is the guy's name? David Dukes. He has condemned David Duke, and he has condemned white supremacy several times. Yeah. So I don't know what more people want if he keeps condemning it publicly.
But when he condemned the Charlottesville people, didn't he the next day didn't he say both sides after that? I
don't think he meant in that way. Like, I should have researched more on it, but I think he meant, I don't know. I need to research more on that.
You better go to DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
Hold on. Take a breath. Kev, you getting a little aggressive.
No, DuckDuckGo is her research play.
You want me to give you a minute to look it up? Or because I had a question.
She made research right now.
This is good. You want to sing a little bit for the in the meantime? No, go ahead, Kev. You're a good singer.
You really have to read this right now?
Yes. So I confirmed with my friends, the protest that was going on, it was first for and against the Confederate statue.
Being removed.
And it was also in a public place. So, anyone could go there and shop and everything. So the KKK happened to be there. Trump was talking about find people on both sides, as in protesting for the statue and against the statue. But the media always portrayed it as him being racist. And then, like I said again, it's been several videos of him basically denouncing, like, no, I do not support white supremacy. No, I do not support the KKK. So that's how, it got kind of mixed up.
Okay, so it seems that, and you can correct me if you feel differently, seems like Trump's things you are for because you think he did a good job. Things you are against are either in his past or media twisting. Is there anything you think in his present that you disagree with that you don't think the media twisted? Or, in his present?
And or a policy that you don't agree with.
I need to do more research on this too, but I am pro-gun, and he
pro-gun,
like choice, like having guns, like no gun control.
Yeah. So you're against gun control?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Second Amendment.
Yeah. He put out some bill that it's called bump stocks.
Bump stocks, yep.
That kind of has like gun control. Mm-hmm. So I kind of I don't agree with that. Oh. Bump stocks. Yeah.
Really? So you think everybody should be able to get assault rifles at any time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You need training, but I mean,
it's trying so hard, Charisse. This shows that we can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. We are already respectful, although we disagree on different things. I actually think it's really interesting, and to be honest, I'm very impressed that you were able, because of the internet and like how angry we can be. People often hide a version of who they are. Like, there's some people who are Trump supporters that I didn't even know because they were just like, I ain't really finna say it out loud, But you are very vocal with it, and like your ability to withstand some of the vitriol you get is like, I don't know if I could continue to be, except for like the Lord. Like I wouldn't fit to be like, I ain't Christian because y'all, or I'm not proud to be black. So I guess I can see it in that sense. But like for Trump, I don't know that I could be as vocal and withstand some of the things that you withstand. So, kudos to you because you be going through it. You be going through a lot to support Trump publicly and be a black woman on the internet. You know what I mean? And you got like
black conservative.
And be a black conservative. And that's the thing, like, to be quite honest, I think I'm not saying that I'm a full Democrat and I will support Democrats regardless of, whatever. And honestly, there's some Democratic people that had they not been running against who they, like, for instance, I thought about this. I told my wife this. I said, man, had Mitt Romney ran against Hillary, I'd have been like, I can't hold you because I wasn't the biggest Hillary Clinton. I wasn't so pro Hillary. You know what I mean? But I was very anti-Trump, so it was just like, well, this is what I ain't gonna do. But if it was Mitt Romney against Hillary, I might have been like, man, this is. But he was up against my boy B.O. from Chi-Town. You feel me? With a lefty. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't necessarily against Hillary, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that I'm just blindly Democratic, but I think for Trump, for me, there was no way I was gonna be able to support Trump because, like, John McCain, I don't think. Like he was Republican again against my boy, B.O. Couldn't go against him, you feel me? But I feel the same way. But do you feel like, here's a thing that people may disagree with, but I believe is true for me. I blindly supported Barack Obama so much, I was not trying to hear nothing negative. And people were like, Obama did this and that and drones. And I was like, I don't want to hear nothing. That's my boy.
You were like, did he turn white?
Then right, because he had the black wife, black kids, and for what he meant to me, I was just like, so I actually had this thought. I was by myself. Representation matters. So I had this thought by myself. I was like, am I just, what Trump supporters are to Trump? Am I just that for Obama? Because I was willing to defend, put under the rug, anything bad he did, like Jeremiah Wright, whatever. Because I loved Obama so much. Loved him as the president. I want to meet him still. High on my list of things to do. But I feel like, do you feel like black people are the same way in our support for, because there's black people who do not like Obama either, that aren't even conservatives. They just like, he hasn't done anything for the community and they take a lot of vitriol. And you can't even not like Black Panther, the movie.
Right.
Like,
I love Black Panther.
Okay, because I was like, serious now, let me just, Wakanda Forever or not?
That CIA actor, he was great. The one white.
But anyway, I totally lost my train of thought, but I know what I was saying. I was saying like my blind support of Obama was based on who he was. Do you feel like that you're the same way for Trump?
No, I do not. Because again, I try to do my research. I really try to remain as unbiased as possible. If he would have never, what's it called? If he would have never denounced and called out white supremacy and the KKK.
The Charlottesville thing?
Then I don't know what... I would probably had a different thought on him.
Okay.
But
so he's not invincible to you?
No.
Okay.
Even with I don't consider myself a Republican because I consider myself an independent conservative. I vote based on my values and my research. So I wouldn't blindly vote for a Republican. Okay. And the same is even if I like the Democrat, I wouldn't blindly vote for them either.
Watch this question.
Okay.
I can't wait.
It better be good too, because the way you set it up.
Trump's going against Obama. Who do you vote for?
Me?
No.
Me?
Oh,
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, I know, but
I mean, it depends on what they're standing for. I would have to read their policies. So if Obama came
based on their current policies, would you vote for Trump or Obama?
Please say Trump just so I can see Kev's head explode.
His policies from 2008 and 2012.
Yeah. If Barack ran on the same campaign in 2008, and obviously time changing, whatever. But if Barack ran on Barack policies in 2012, and Trump is his opponent, who would you vote for?
I would vote for Trump.
Come on.
I love it. I knew that question was going to. Oh, I'm so glad.
You would?
I would.
Sharice.
I would.
You would?
Yes, I would.
Trump?
Like I said, the policies. I love his policies.
You would have voted for Trump over Barack?
Yes.
Hussein Obama?
Yep.
I told you it was going to be a great question. Just
you know Barack.
Yes, I do.
And Michelle.
Yeah.
You would have voted for Trump?
But I didn't agree with their policies.
Oh, Sharice, I'm trying. I really am.
I'm telling the truth.
I would have voted Barack over JFK.
You would have?
Yeah.
And he's Irish.
I know. He's
And
first
that's your
Irish
boy.
Catholic. Yeah.
He's
Hoity-toity. Out here being all hoity-toity.
Dang,
Yeah.
Sharice Lane.
Yes.
You would have voted against Barack.
Yes.
I knew it. So
That was a good question.
I love too. At first, you're like, me? What do you need to ask?
Because you were like, this is for Kev. But you meant the answer she's going to say.
Yes.
I feel like I would rather have the first black president, be someone who actually does something for the black community.
Do you need me to hold you back?
Okay, I'm done.
Jesus. Jesus, help me today, Father.
This might be my favorite.
Oh, man. Okay,
You can't even function.
I know, I'm just like...
You just have a picture of Barack. You're looking at. I still love you.
3-7.
I remember.
It's mine. With a little.
Trump is on your screensaver?
With the.
With a... Oh,
Yes, he is.
Protect black women. Protect black women. Protect black women. I love black women. I love black women.
I love black women. I love black
So here's
women.
an interesting question that we got from our audience. Have you lost friends or family over your support of Trump?
Okay, for family, I wouldn't necessarily say I lost them, but we have grown farther apart. But I know if I were to get in some kind of trouble or need help, I know they will come to my rescue.
Okay.
Concerning friends, I haven't lost friends. I've lost acquaintances because I really feel like true friends would stick by my side, which they have. Mm-hmm. And most of the friends that I have kind of have they kind of have the same opinion as me, with the exception of a few.
So would you say you have any close friends who are not black conservatives?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't have any close friends that are not.
I have both sides. Like I really try to challenge myself. That's why I try to ask them, what has Obama done or what has Trump done that you think is good or bad?
Don't say his name. Don't say
One
his name.
tear.
So I get both opinions. Like I get both
the
opinions.
thing for Obama, for me, to be quite honest, one of the things is I was fully prepared to live my whole natural life in America and never see a black president. Like, it wasn't even a thought. And I remember Michelle was talking about this in her book, Becoming, by Michelle Obama, that she didn't think he could win at first. She was like, come on, fam. You know what I mean? When he first was on the scene, I was like, bro, America ain't never going to vote for no black president ever, ever, ever. So for me, it's like, the craziest thing is my kids, their first president they ever knew of was a black man. Mm-hmm. So I think their view of America is going to be so different. Because starting from my point of view and going all the way back in history, I think the first time I was aware of the president, it was Bill Clinton. And then you look backwards, it's all white men. So the first time they're aware of the president, it's Barack Obama. Then you look back, it's all white men. And probably all forward, it's going to be white men as well. But so that's why I was so happy. Because I was like, dang, my kids are going to get to see what, like, man, America is changing. But no, we kind of came right back after that.
I mean, I do believe that representation does matter. Mm-hmm. He's like, I really respect him because he is a very eloquent speaker. Mm-hmm. He has a very nice personality, and I think that's what got people. It's his personality and the fact that he's a black man, like the first black president. So I mean, I respect him for that. It's just the policies. I feel like policies matter more to me than because it's for that.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like I'm not. Again, I feel how I feel. I'm not trying to change your mind. You're not trying to change my mind. I'm trying to understand. So what policies did Obama have that you were just like
that also differ from Trump's?
Yeah.
I don't know what Trump's stance is on gay marriage, but that's just something that I know it was not only Obama, but it was the Supreme Court's decision. But that's something that is, because I'm a Christian, so something that I can't really agree on. Not saying that I don't love my brother and my sister who is that way.
You just don't want them to be able to get married.
I don't agree with the lifestyle.
Okay.
But I'm not protesting for them to be hurt or anything like that. Like I still hey, there's a black gay conservative that I know. He's black, he's gay, he's conservative.
You just did. I have a black friend. I'm not against gay people. I got a black gay friend. Hey, come on, man.
Hey, you're right. I did do that.
That's our trick. That's ours. Don't appropriate our thing.
Don't appropriate our thing.
Look, he knows my stance on. I tweeted some stuff basically saying my stance on gay marriage. He knows that, but we still respect each other.
Okay. So here's a good question from the audience. You have one, Jay?
No, I think I only got like one left.
Okay. Yeah. What's name one great success for Trump and one disappointment from him?
I already named them. I said that prison reform.
The single greatest one?
That is, because I do believe that there is some injustices against, especially us, in the prison system. Like, people getting life for first-time drug offenses.
Minor drug offense.
Yeah, and his bill is basically going to fix that. It's going to either get them out or like release them or shorten their sentence.
Yep.
So I highly respect him for that.
And that was recent that he signed that bill.
Yes.
So prior to that, what was it?
Like basically his stance, me being a Christian, like his policies.
Pro-life.
Yeah.
Pro-life. Okay. You done?
The last one I have is what would you say? What do you think is the one thing is the reason that people of color don't support Trump? Majority of people of color.
I really think that the media kind of takes advantage of our past and uses the race card because they know that race is a very emotional topic for us. They use it. If the media calls someone racist, like, we're gonna believe it because that's a very like sensitive topic. So I think that the media kind of uses it against us, and that's what gets us to kind of not like Donald Trump, because if everybody in the news and on TV is calling someone racist, you're gonna believe it. That's why I think they don't.
I think the number one, you kind of answered this, but literally we were going through the questions on Instagram. By the way, you led far and away. Really? Majority of, it's not even close. But almost all of them were just why, girl, why? Like,
and I get that every day. So I don't know what their point was in asking that, because I get that every day.
So if somebody, that would just be the question, why? So if we put it into like one word, why do you support Trump? Is the answer his policies?
Yes. His policies. Yep.
I had two questions. First one's a funny one. You gotta love Trump is so petty. Would you say?
Yes, he is. It's funny.
I don't support Trump. I'm not a fan of Trump, but like some of the stuff, it's just like the football team is supposed to, or the champions are supposed to come to the White House. They're like, we're not going. He's like, they're uninvited. Like, they're not going. They said he's so petty. That's the stuff that cracks me up. But on a more serious note, and also we should probably put a message in here. One, have you had death threats?
Yes.
Safety was the thing that I meant to bring up.
And I wanted to say on this, like, and I don't think your fans would do this, but
I imagine this is going to go beyond my fans or her fans.
So that's why I wanted to say, don't send stupid emails.
Please
or
don't.
Messages.
I get it every day. Like, I just don't. I don't want it.
The first one you got, how did you react and feel to that?
After coming from DC, I was reading my messages. I was in the airport, and I kind of just broke down because I'm like, I feel like, why am I being so made fun of or getting sent death threats just because of a hat and just because this is my belief? Like, so I really like broke down. But like I said again, this really those things, they make me stronger. I have to have tough skin if I want to, the type of career I want to go into, I have to have tough skin in order to do that.
Have you ever felt like you were like physically in any danger?
When I went to wear that hat, I kind of did. The first time. But I did, but I didn't, because I had friends around me who were wearing the hat also, who were also black conservatives.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go as a group first.
Right.
So I did. I was really scared, but at the same time, I was excited. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Do
you get more, I guess, hate mail / and or death threats from white people or black people?
Black people.
Wow.
Yep.
Is it even close?
No.
Dang.
They feel like because I'm black and because they're black, they can say these things to me. They can say these racist things to me and not get called racist, or they can tell me to kill myself because I'm being a coon, or I'm being a sellout. Like, they call me a sellout. I'm not a sellout. Do I look like I want to? Do I look like I'm trying to sell out? Like, no.
Right. Huh. This has been interesting.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think that's what I said earlier. That's one of the things that I thought of that I hadn't thought of until you put it on your story. You said the same people that say they hate Trump for being racist and whatever, they talk to me worse or equally as bad or or worse than them. I mean, I never treat people like that on the internet. I don't really spend time.
You just block them.
Oh, I block people. Yeah. Blocking is self-care.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type of person to be like, go kill yourself, this or that. I wanted to ask a question. So I remember thinking, this is an interesting thing about Trump that I think that hasn't been the case for any president. I don't remember thinking about the president every day, about what he's done. Like, Obama won, but there'd be times where like nothing was kind of happening in the political landscape where I don't feel like I thought about Obama or Bush or you know what I mean? Or anybody every single day. For the last 2 years or going on 3 years, I feel like the topic of Trump comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You talk about what's he saying today?
I feel like I've known Trump as the president every single day. Frankly, I just be like, bro, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of all of it. Like, so my question is, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to say that.
I really think it's just that, like, the media, like, they really hate him.
That's a great question. That's what you brought up. So one thing I think Trump did, because I had a question, but that jumped in my mind. One thing I think Trump capitalized on was the all publicity is good publicity. I think he manipulated the American culture. We worship celebrity, right? And I think Trump did a good job of playing like to his base. Like he at the same time emboldened his base and pissed off the other side. So he's always a topic of conversation. I think his greatest skill is to always remain the topic of conversation, whether he says something wrong, right, or indifferent. Like, I personally, the funniest thing Trump ever said to me, where I was just like, this man is the president. When he was talking about a hurricane, he was like, this is the biggest hurricane in terms of water. And I was like, fam, what are you even saying?
What was the thing he said about,
like, this is going to be the wettest
words?
Yeah. Oh my God. He's the best at everything. Yeah. So is there anything where he's ever said where you're just like, fam, come on, bro. I'm trying to defend you out here in these streets. You are not making it easy.
I mean, I probably have to look in my phone because I can't remember nothing right now. But
really?
Yeah.
There's nothing he said where you've been like, man, you tripping. Except
well, just the way he says things. He just needs to do a better job. But I do like that he's so blunt, and I like that he tries to reach out to people by being on social media so much, like trying to connect with them. But he does need to, in order to at least get some people to like him a little, tone down how you say things.
Because I think needs a better PR for him.
The thing about him, I think you can be blunt and wrong. He just be blunt. He don't be saying, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times his facts will be, and he's unwavering. When he gets fact checked, he'd be like, nah, fake news. I ain't trying to hear it. Here's a question, I think. Do you think he's going to get a second term?
Yes.
Really? No matter who the Democratic nominee is?
I think that he is.
I actually agree with that. I think I never thought in a million years Trump would win, but I thought if he won, he would get a second term.
I don't think I know.
You know?
A lot. I don't, like I said,
I'm not hoping for it, but I think he.
I don't watch the news, but the media, they showed one side. They don't show the other side. And from the other side, there's a lot of people who actually, even people in closed doors who do support. Who do support him.
He won.
Yeah.
He won.
And it wasn't because of no Russian collusion, which is still not. It's still no proof, no evidence.
That's something you brought up, because actually I just thought about he won, but did he win? Here's the thing that I think is interesting. Whether you think Trump is wrong or right, his camp has had the most people arrested for lying, corruption,
and
firing, lying, Manafort and Cohen, like of any president in any history, he's had the most turnover. How do you reconcile that?
I don't know. He needs to get his staff. He needs to get better staff. Mm-hmm. Just get everybody together.
Yeah, it's the staff.
Because my thing is like with Cohen, like that was your lawyer forever, right? Like you trust if you have a lawyer for 20 plus years, you gotta trust him. If he turns on you, he either A, was never with you, or B, is like, look, it's gonna be me or you. It ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna start selling what I know. Like it wasn't like he was his lawyer for a year or two. Like, so my thing is that like these been your people the whole time and they're going down. Usually that means you at least knew about some stuff.
I think if he's gonna be the topic of conversation every day and I guess stir controversy, he needs to have mellow people in his circle. People who are calm, collected, and not making a big scene like sometimes like he does. Right.
Now you mentioned Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, I think was the name. They are leaders of the conservative movement. I know Candace Owens, Kanye tweeted about her often. Is she your mentor? And if not, who do you look up to in the Black conservative movement?
I do look up to her as a Black woman. Like she was really she was kind of one of the first people that I saw as an example. But really, my mentors go back to the school I was raised in.
7th grade teacher?
Yep. I was at that school from 1st grade to the 12th. And they really taught me how to think for myself. And they really taught me to not blame my problems on other people. So I would go back to the principal of the school. She's really the one that I look up to the most as a Black woman. She's also conservative. And if it wasn't for that school and if it wasn't for God, I probably wouldn't even be in college.
Really?
Now. Yes. Wow. And my family, because that lazy spirit, it come on you a lot. And then the excuses just comes on me a lot. But going back to how I was taught, how I was raised, that really helped me be where I am today.
Okay. Jay, you have any more questions? I'm out. You have any more thoughts you want to say?
Don't judge people before getting to know them. We do exist. Black conservatives do exist. Do not listen to the news all the time that says that we don't.
You jumped on that soapbox. Hear me, people of the world. Do not judge us. Well, this has been Ask a Black Trump Supporter with Sharice Lane. He's been Big Irish J. I've been KevOnStage. Oh, do you want to tell people where to follow you if they want to and not like email you?
It's at Sharice Lane on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So that's CharriseLane.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We learned a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bye.